Hello, my merciful brothers and sisters. It is I, Mr. Mercy, coming at you very, very tired. It's like 11:15 as I'm recording this right now at night. But I want to give you guys a very, very important update on my last video that I made. Which was, well, not technically not my last video because I deleted my last video. I'm talking the video before that, honestly. It's a very important update. I wanted to let you guys know everything that went down. I initially made a video, I initially made one video explaining the situation and what had happened up until that point, and then afterwards, after some more things happened, I made another update video that I made unlisted because I wanted to put it on Twitter initially, because I didn't feel comfortable putting it on YouTube, but Twitter ended up screwing it up, so I uploaded it unlisted. I uploaded it whatever, onto YouTube unlisted, and shared it with some friends. But since it seems to be over now, I'm gonna make this video and recap everything that happened for you guys, and tell you guys what has gone on this channel in the past week, because it's kind of been fucking crazy, and both exciting and terrifying, and a whole bunch of shit has just gone down. So without further ado, I want to get into what's been happening since I posted my video, I'm Sorry, Alex Maurer. So, just to give you guys a brief little rundown, I guess, I'm going to be putting an iCard on that original video, but if for some reason you didn't see that original video, I'll have an iCard. I think it's probably up that way. If I'm wrong, well, you just blame me sucking at knowing where iCards are, but I think it's up that way. In my initial video, I talked about the whole Alex Maurer situation, about, how she was attacking YouTubers with DMCA strikes, taking their videos down, mainly as a way to blackmail Imago Softworks into working out some kind of deal with her for, the music, or the copyrights to her music that she felt she owned, but Imagos was saying that due to the contract that she signed with them, that they owned. So she had a big contract dispute with them, and she tried harassing YouTubers as a way to get Imagos to abide to her will. So I made a video about this, and in the video, I basically, I didn't condone Alex's actions. I don't think that, I hope that didn't come off to anybody that I was condoning her actions, because I wasn't. But in the video, I felt really bad because at that point, the most recent development was that she was threatening to kill herself, and then threatening to kill other people involved, such as Sid Alpha, who has been covering this story, such as Leonard French, who's a very, popular copyright attorney here on YouTube. I love his channel. He does great work covering all kinds of legal stuff. He's actually decided to represent Imago Softworks in this case because he actually lives around the area where this is all taking place, so he's actually able to participate in the court case, and he will be, siding with Imago Softworks on the matter. He'll be representing them in their lawsuit against Alex, which they filed. So she's been sending death threats to a bunch of people, and she's also been threatening to kill herself. And that's when, and as I made that video, she was admitted to what is known in the state of Pennsylvania, which is where this all takes place. She was admitted to what is known as a 302, which basically means she was held against her will in a mental health facility to, keep her on suicide watch and make sure she wasn't going to kill herself. So when I heard about, Alex lashing out at YouTubers like this, and threatening suicide and threatening, to kill them, I just saw a person, just mortally, disturbed and just suffering greatly, because, nobody's gonna act like that unless they're really suffering, and I know from personal experience with how my girlfriend, who is transgender just like Alex, has suffered. So I saw a lot of, the same behavior I would expect out of Fate in Alex, and that really, really concerned me on a personal level, because I care very deeply for my girlfriend. I've been with her for the past 3 years, so, this really hit home to me personally, and it affected me like, not many other YouTube drama things have in the past. So I wanted to speak up and not only like criticize YouTubers for blasting her and name calling in a way that gets their audience riled up and excited, um, and you know, then acting surprised when their audience goes and attacks this person and and harasses them and sends them all kinds of transphobic comments and stuff. It's like, I mean, you kind of lose the right to act surprised when your fan base actually gets angry and goes attacks the person. Even if you tell them not to, they're not going to really listen to that. So I was criticizing YouTubers for that, particularly Sid Alpha and Jim Sterling. I hadn't actually, to my admittance, I hadn't actually watched Sid Alpha's original video when I made that comment, so that was kind of on me, and I kind of screwed up on that. And I'll get into why I screwed up on that later on. But yeah, I criticized some of these YouTubers for not covering it carefully enough, and I felt like their, you know, sloppiness in how they presented Alex's character had led to this moment of her being suicidal, and I kind of blamed them for that. So, and I also in that video offered my sympathies to Alex, and I was like, I reached out to her. I said, I understand that you're suffering. I've watched my girlfriend suffer this very, very much the same way, and I reached out a hand of friendship to her, and I said, if you ever need to contact somebody off the record with nobody listening, come talk to me. I'll listen. And that in that video, I used gameplay from a new MOBA style game from NCSoft. They made the Guild Wars series and Blade and Soul, so it was a new game from them, and it's called MXM, or Master X Master. It's a game that not only did Alex Mauer, not work on, or not even that not even something that Imago Software's worked on. So nobody that Alex is feuding with had anything to do with that game, and Alex herself had nothing to do with that game. So I figured that my video was going to be safe purely because I wasn't one of the people out there using Star Mazer footage or Star Mazer DSP footage or, Death Road to Canada footage. Like any of these games that Alex Mauer has worked on, I wasn't using footage of. I was using something from a completely different game that, I didn't think was that big of an issue. I did use an image of Alex Mauer in the thumbnail of the video that I found publicly online, because it was under my impression, because I had seen a piece on, I believe it was Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, where he talked about revenge porn, and how, and I don't know if this was specific to some specific state. I'd have to rewatch the piece again, but I remember John Oliver saying something along the lines of, for some of these women who are affected by revenge porn, where, some vengeful boyfriend who has nude pictures of them posts them up online and shares them without the girl's permission, and humiliates her and stuff with it, that it was said that those girls, if they wanted to take those images down off the internet, if they wanted to prevent those from actually going anywhere, they would actually have to take photos of their naked body and actually send them to the copyright office to actually have them copyrighted, and then they would own the copyrights to their image of their body, and then they could use that to legally take those revenge porn pictures down. So I was figuring that it would work kind of the same way with this, where Alex Mauer, yes, she may have taken the picture of herself, but I figured that if she didn't properly file it with the copyright office, if she didn't actually put a copyright on that picture, then she didn't actually own a copyright to that picture. Now, and I'll get further into this later, but moving on to, a few hours after I posted that video. Of course, the response was pretty much mostly negative, because most people didn't care to be sympathetic and wanted to see Alex die, and were very hateful towards her and didn't want to listen to me being sympathetic. But then again, that's just how most people are. But a few hours after that video went up, I got a takedown DMCA notification from Alex Mauer herself, and I was shocked. Like I wasn't expecting her to start attacking videos that had absolutely nothing to do with Imagos or Star Mazer or anything that people have been reporting that she's been attacking. Simply something that's just been talking about her situation, because I've seen plenty of YouTubers talking about her situation, and none of them have been hit. So it kind of took me by surprise. Um, so I sat on it for a few days, and I contemplated whether I should send in a counter notification, because I'm thinking, well, she's clearly mentally unstable if she's talking about killing herself and stuff. So I was concerned that if I tried to retaliate with a counter notification, that she was going to get more pissed at me and just go on a rampage throughout my channel and start DMCAing a ton of my videos, which would get my entire channel shut down. So I was kind of scared to do that at first, but I was, watching some more videos about it, and I kind of figured, well, uh, it wasn't the keeping the video up that really mattered to me. It was more, I was more concerned about the strike and what it would do to my channel, so I eventually decided to appeal with a counter notification. So for those that don't know, when you get a DMCA strike on your channel, your video gets taken down. You can submit a counter notification. Now, a counter notification is a legally binding document. It's basically YouTube's equivalent of saying "fucking sue me," like a threat to them to tell you to sue them. And that's basically what the counter notification is. It's a document that basically dares the person to sue you. And you actually have to fill out your contact information, including your phone number, your address, your email address, all this personal information about yourself. And they obviously will use that if this was going to be something that gets sent to court. That's what they would use to send you your court summons. They'd have your contact information so they could send a lawyer or a cop or somebody to your house to serve you a court notice. So, so I did that. I basically called Alex's bluff, and I'm like, sue me. And I put out a video, or not a video, but I put out the counter notification explaining to her how she did not own not Microsoft, Master X Master, or any of the music within it. So I did that, and I kind of just sat on it after that. I sat for a few days and waited. Now with these counter notifications, the claimant has to respond, I believe, within 14 days. Otherwise, the claim is dismissed and your video goes back up. But a few days after, on July 5th, Alex actually officially responded to me. She actually started by blowing up my phone, which kind of freaked me out because I'm used to screening my calls, as I believe I said in my initial video, saying that I had gotten DMCA striked. And so it kind of freaked me out for a bit that I was getting my phone blown up by this unknown number from Pennsylvania that I didn't know. But it was Alex herself calling me through the information that I provided through my counter notification, and it seems to me like Alex doesn't even really know how copyright law works, because she was confused about me including proof that she had absolutely nothing to do with MXM. And she didn't understand why I was, putting that evidence out there. Well, if you put a DMCA strike out there, that's you're claiming you own the content in the video, and I was proving to her that she did not own the content in that video. So she was confused by that. But she was pissed at me and forwarded my personal information, all the personal information that I had included within my counter notification. She forwarded that to Sid Alpha and the musical Antihero, which I guess is another YouTuber that has been covering the situation. And she probably thought that by sending this public information, like my address and my phone number and all that, sending that information to Sid Alpha and the musical Antihero, that they would somehow use that as a way to publicly oust me for wronging her or something, for daring to challenge her takedown. But instead, both Sid Alpha and the musical Antihero showed me nothing but unflinching support for my situation, which I am truly grateful for, that somebody, you know, as popular as Sid Alpha and somebody as big as Sid Alpha would have, you know, pity and you know, respect for a smaller YouTuber like myself. So that was really, really humbling to see. And I told Alex in our email thread that I was only trying to offer her my sympathies, and I was railing on popular YouTubers for covering her situation poorly, and, you know, calling her names and stuff, which in my opinion led to her suicidal nature. And in retrospect, I wish I hadn't looped Sid Alpha into the mix with those people, because I don't think he has been covering it as poorly as some of the other YouTubers have, who are quick to, you know, call her names and harass her, but then have the gall to ask their subscribers not to do the same. And so I looped Sid Alpha into that mix with them, and I apologize, because like I said, I didn't initially watch his initial video, so I kind of just assumed that he was part of this, you know, hate mongering towards Alex, and for that I apologize. So Alex told me that the reason that she took my video down, and what had her so upset, wasn't anything in the video that I said, or you know, she didn't think that I used some of her copyrighted material, you know, in the video itself. What she was so upset about was that I used a publicly available photo of her in that initial thumbnail. Now, while Sid Alpha and the musical Antihero, as well as myself, believed that the image was not protected under copyright unless Alex herself filed it within the Copyright Office, like I said, upon getting further feedback and looking into it myself, I'm not quite sure anymore that that's the truth, because I'm getting conflicting reports from various sources. Some places say that the copyright is automatically given to the person who snaps the picture as soon as they snap it. Others say that you do need to file it with the Copyright Office for it to count as copyrighted. So the jury's still out on the legality of all of that. But putting that aside, I completely failed on a moral level by including that picture of Alex in the thumbnail. Perhaps I got so caught up in my emotions and so caught up in my concern about the situation that I wasn't thinking about how a pre-op transgender male to female would feel about having her pre-op image plastered onto a thumbnail. Because for all the talk in the video that I gave about my girlfriend and how much I understand her, I failed to remember that even Fate herself has also had insecurities about sharing her pre-op pictures, even with me, let alone, you know, to the entire internet. So I should have known better that Alex would have been sensitive about that, and I apologized to her about that in the email thread that, you know, she started through my counter notification, and I apologized for that, and I offered to amend the thumbnail to not include her image if she would rescind the takedown notice and reinstate the video. And she didn't actually reply to this request. I don't think that there was really an exchange of words between me and her all that much. Mostly I was just kind of talking to Sid Alpha and Musical Antihero. So I don't think she actually responded to that and agreed to that specifically. She just kind of kept silent and was letting, you know, all of this simmer. But I wasn't going to force her to put the video back up. I didn't, like I said, I don't care about the video being up. All I cared about was the strike, and also kind of getting through to Alex and you know, sharing my sympathies with her. And I was advised by Sid Alpha and Musical Antihero to just let the counter notification expire after 14 days, which is what it was when it would normally expire, and the video would be back up. But today, on July 7th, just several hours ago, just 8 days after the takedown was first issued, and only 2 days after my initial response to my counter notification from Alex, I was notified by a YouTube bot that the copyright claim was released, and my video was restored, and my copyright strike was removed. So I don't know if Alex did this by her own free will, or if she was advised to by some legal counsel. Last I knew, last Sid Alpha knew, and last anybody knew, Alex had actually not received any legal counsel about this entire thing, and I believe the most recent update was said that in her battle with Imago Softworks, she was going to be representing herself. She would not have legal counsel for this case. So that leans more towards the thought that Alex did this by her own free will, which would be kind of an important development in this story, I think, because up until this point, she showed no signs of budging on any of this, and this is the first instance, at least to my knowledge, where she's given a YouTuber a break, that she's attacked, like she's actually taken back her attack, which is interesting. But either way, my channel is back to normal. I initially was planning on going on hiatus until the strike expired in September, but seeing as now that the strike is no longer a concern, I will continue to upload videos on this channel. I don't know if it's going to be super regularly, because it really hasn't been super regularly anyway, but I'm not going to stop simply out of fear of this copyright strike, since that copyright strike is now removed and taken care of. Even though Alex didn't really initially respond to my offer to remove her image out of the thumbnail, she didn't tell me that things would be better if I did that, or she didn't really comment on it in any way. She kind of just kept silent. Even though she didn't say anything about it, and didn't tell me that she would like me to do it, or that she wouldn't like me to do it, or anything, I have decided just by myself to just edit the thumbnail to remove her image out of respect, and to honor my promise to her that I would do that. So the thumbnail for that video no longer has the picture of Alex in it. So after I upload this video, I will not be talking about Alex Maurer again. I'm just going to let Sid Alpha handle it along with the other YouTubers. And, I think that things are going to be alright. I still have no hard feelings towards Alex. I know people really want me to. A lot of my subscribers and a lot of my viewers are really perplexed and just totally baffled about why I don't hate Alex Maurer even a little bit. It's because, I understand that nobody is perfect, and nobody is really mentally equipped to kind of handle what she's been going through. And things like this come out of that, desperation and fear, and it's a time where we need to be understanding. We don't need to be supportive. That's the thing. We don't need to, totally write off her actions and dismiss them. Of course, I think that, she's probably learning at this point that what she did is wrong. But, and in terms of, we need to view her as a person and not her actions. We need to view Alex Maurer not as a person on a rampage, just DMCAing all the videos she can find. We need to view her as someone who is going through a tough time and is suffering, and her actions are merely a side effect of that. And that's the way I view the situation. But nevertheless, my video is back up. Everything is all good. If Alex was the one to, personally do this herself, I thank her for doing that, for deciding to actually put my video back up and take back her copyright claim. And like I said, to my knowledge, no other YouTuber has been granted that right as of yet. I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, Alex has not slowed down on her DMCA takedowns. So this is kind of interesting how she's given me specifically a break. I don't know why, because she initially didn't seem like she was welcoming of my support of her when we initially talked through email. So this is very strange. I mean, I'm not complaining about it, obviously, but it is very strange given everything that's been going on. And I don't know why. She's done it, but I thank her for doing it nonetheless. And that is the entire situation about what's been happening between me and Alex Maurer and Sid Alpha, the musical anti-hero and all that. So thank you again to Sid Alpha for being supportive of me and talking to me and helping me through all this. Thank you to the musical anti-hero for kind of being like a moderator between me, Sid Alpha, and Alex Maurer. That's kind of what he did. So I thank him for that. I'm going to have to go check out his channel now. Because I actually never heard of him before he started emailing me, so I'm gonna have to check him out. And even to thank you to Alex Maurer, because this week has let me learn a lot about myself and how I read other people, and it's been scary, but it's been nice at the same time. It's just been a crazy week. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Remember, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I'm Mr. Mercy. Peace, everyone.